Welcome back to Who Died Today USA channel. In the past few days, we have received somber news about the passing of extraordinary talents. Today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Additionally, we will recap the stars we have recently lost. Before we begin, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you.
No, you can kill me! You can kill me!
William Finn, a singular voice in American musical theater, devoted his life to telling deeply personal stories, ones filled with humor, heartbreak, and hope. On April 7, 2025, he passed away at the age of 73 following a lengthy illness, as confirmed by his literary agent. His legacy, however, will continue to resonate on stages and in hearts across generations. Born in 1952 in Boston and raised in Natick, Massachusetts, Finn's love of theater began early, dancing around the living room to Guys and Dolls and writing songs inspired by Joni Mitchell and Simon and Garfunkel. He studied at Williams College, where his gift for musical storytelling took shape, guided by the influence of Broadway titan Stephen Sondheim. Finn's breakthrough came with Falsettos, a 1992 Broadway musical that combined two of his earlier works, March of the Falsettos and Falsettoland. Exploring themes of love, family, and identity at the dawn of the AIDS crisis, the show earned him 2 Tony Awards for Best Original Score and Best Book. A 2016 revival starring Andrew Rannells and Christian Borle brought the work to a new generation, earning 5 additional Tony nominations. In 2005, Finn and longtime collaborator James Lapine returned with the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, a joyful, bittersweet look at adolescence that became an instant classic. The show won multiple Tony Awards and remains a staple in theaters nationwide. Finn also drew from personal health struggles. After undergoing surgery in 1992 for a life-threatening brain condition, he transformed the experience into the off-Broadway musical A New Brain. "Everything's wonderful," he later reflected. "The elevator's taking its own time. Don't rush it." William Finn is survived by his partner, Arthur Salvador. He leaves behind a body of work filled with honesty, melody, and soul, an enduring testament to the power of music to reflect life's most profound truths.
The actor bringing to life the mischievous but lovable character Dennis Mitchell.
Jay North was a beloved American actor whose charm and innocence lit up television screens in the early days of American sitcoms. Born on August 3, 1951, in Los Angeles, California, Jay captured the nation's heart at just 7 years old when he took on the role of Dennis Mitchell in the CBS classic Dennis the Menace, which aired from 1959 to 1963. With his signature overalls, striped shirt, and wide smile, Jay portrayed a mischievous yet kind-hearted boy whose well-intentioned adventures brought laughter to millions of homes. Though he continued to work in television and film throughout his youth, including roles in Zebra in the Kitchen, Maya, and The Lucy Show, Jay found it challenging to break free from the shadow of his iconic role. He later lent his voice to animated favorites like The Pebbles and Bam Bam Show and The Flintstone Comedy Hour, but ultimately stepped away from Hollywood in search of a quieter life. In adulthood, Jay served honorably in the U.S. Navy before settling in Florida, where he worked as a corrections officer. His life took on a new rhythm, grounded, humble, and deeply human. In his later years, he remained in close contact with friends and fans, always expressing love and gratitude. On April 6, 2025, Jay North passed peacefully at his home in Lake Butler, Florida, following a long battle with colorectal cancer. He was 73. Jay North's legacy endures not only through the timeless image of Dennis Mitchell, but in the strength he showed as a man who reclaimed his identity beyond childhood fame. His journey reminds us of the importance of grace, resilience, and the quiet dignity of a life well lived.
You just stay alert, do your work, don't worry.
On January 16th, 2025, the world quietly lost one of its most unique and fearless storytellers, David Lynch, the mastermind behind Twin Peaks, Blue Velvet, and Mulholland Drive. His family, in a tender message shared online, asked for privacy and left us with a quote that captured his spirit. "Keep your eye on the donut, not the hole." Born in Missoula, Montana, Lynch was shaped by the haunting beauty of the Pacific Northwest, landscapes that would later echo through his most iconic work. His early film Eraserhead became a cult classic, followed by the deeply moving The Elephant Man, which earned multiple Academy Award nominations. Lynch didn't just direct films, he created experiences, often unsettling but always deeply human. His style, so distinct and unforgettable, gave rise to a new word: Lynchian. Behind the camera, David explored life's most mysterious corners, and off-screen, he faced quiet battles of his own. According to official records, his passing was the result of cardiac arrest related to chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, with dehydration as a contributing factor. Even as his health declined, his creative fire never dimmed. He continued to write, direct, compose, and reflect, leaving a trail of wonder in his wake. Those who knew him best, like Kyle MacLachlan and Naomi Watts, spoke not only of his genius, but of his kindness, his belief in them, and the way he changed their lives forever. David Lynch once said, "The ideas are the stars." Today, the stars shine a little brighter because of the worlds he gave us.
You inspired my life. All of those just beautiful things.
Michelle Trachtenberg captured the hearts of a generation with her talent, warmth, and unmistakable screen presence. Born in 1985, she began her acting journey at a young age and quickly became one of the most recognizable faces in American television and film during the late 90s and early 2000s. Her early breakout role in Harriet the Spy introduced a curious and determined young heroine who left a lasting impression on audiences. Michelle continued to shine as Dawn Summers in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, bringing emotional depth to a beloved fantasy series. Later, she reinvented herself as Georgina Sparks on Gossip Girl, captivating fans with her bold, magnetic performance. Over the years, Michelle's roles reflected both her versatility and her deep emotional intelligence as a performer. Behind the scenes, she also explored writing, including a recent screenplay for a project based on the book Toy Monster. Her final recorded performance was a voice role in the documentary Spryle, a project that reflected her ongoing creative spirit. Michelle had recently undergone a liver transplant, and while details remain private, her strength throughout that time was admired by many. On February 26, 2025, she was found unresponsive at her home in New York. The medical examiner later confirmed that the exact cause could not be determined, honoring the family's wish for no autopsy. Those who knew her, like Rosie O'Donnell and Blake Lively, described Michelle as vibrant, compassionate, and deeply generous. She brought energy into every room and poured her heart into her craft. Michelle Trachtenberg's legacy lives on in the stories she told and in the light she brought to so many. Troy Seals was never one to seek the spotlight, yet his songs lit up the stage for some of country music's most legendary voices. Born on November 16, 1938, in the hills of Kentucky, Seals brought the soul of the South into every note he played and every word he wrote. On March 6, 2025, the world quietly said goodbye to this treasured songwriter as he passed peacefully at his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, at the age of 86. Over the decades, Troy penned or co-wrote more than 75 charting hits, including unforgettable classics like Seven Spanish Angels, Ray Charles and Willie Nelson, Lost in the 50s Tonight, Ronnie Millsap, and Who's Gonna Fill Their Shoes, George Jones. His talent didn't go unnoticed. He was inducted into the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame in 1988 and remained a revered figure in Music City. Troy's health had gradually declined in recent years, though details were kept private. He spent his final days surrounded by family in the very community he helped shape through music. What set Troy Seals apart wasn't just the melodies he wrote, but the stories he told. Stories of love, longing, and the American spirit. While he chose to remain behind the scenes, his impact was anything but hidden. His songs gave voice to legends and comfort to listeners across generations. There were no scandals, no headlines of controversy, just a life built on honesty, collaboration, and craftsmanship. Troy Seals leaves behind a legacy written in lyrics and harmony, a quiet legend whose songs will keep playing long after the final chord fades.
I thought that you were gonna turn Blue Star around, not upside down.
Breaking news. Behind the Oscar wins and red carpets, who really is Michael Douglas? Michael Douglas has spent over 5 decades as one of Hollywood's most enduring figures. With a career spanning from gritty dramas to big-budget thrillers, his name has become synonymous with intensity, intellect, and resilience. But behind the accolades and red carpets lies a story shaped not just by professional triumphs, but by deeply personal battles, some of which nearly silenced his iconic voice. Born on September 25, 1944, in New Brunswick, New Jersey, Michael grew up under the towering shadow of his legendary father, Kirk Douglas. Rather than coast on his father's fame, Michael carved his own path. After earning a degree from the University of California, Santa Barbara, he plunged into acting with a hunger to prove himself. He soon became a household name, starring in films that would define a generation. Michael's breakout moment came with the psychological thriller Fatal Attraction in 1987, followed by Wall Street that same year. As Gordon Gekko, he delivered one of the most quoted lines in cinema history. "Greed, for lack of a better word, is good." The role earned him an Academy Award for Best Actor and solidified his place in Hollywood royalty. In the 1990s, he followed with box office hits like Basic Instinct, The Game, and Disclosure. Few actors so successfully embodied power and vulnerability in equal measure. But Douglas was not content with success in front of the camera. In 1975, he produced One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, a film that won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. It was a clear signal that his influence extended far beyond acting. However, fame came with its own set of challenges. Michael navigated the pressures of living up to his family legacy while facing intense media scrutiny. His marriage to actress Catherine Zeta-Jones, though admired by many, also endured public speculation, especially during moments of personal struggle. The couple briefly separated in 2013, but reconciled quietly, emerging stronger together. Perhaps the most defining chapter in Michael Douglas's life began in 2010 when he was diagnosed with stage 4 throat cancer. At the time, his physical appearance shocked fans. He had lost over 40 pounds and could barely speak. In a powerful interview, he shared, "It was a fight. I was lucky to be here." The cause, he later revealed, was linked to the HPV virus, sparking nationwide conversations about awareness and prevention. The battle was grueling. Weeks of radiation and chemotherapy tested not only his body, but his spirit. Still, Michael emerged on the other side, weakened, but undefeated. By early 2011, he was in remission and began the long journey back to health and work. His candor about the illness helped destigmatize it and positioned him as a vocal advocate for preventive health care. In the years since, Douglas has not slowed down. He earned new acclaim for his role in the Netflix series The Kominsky Method, where he portrayed a once famous acting coach navigating the trials of aging and friendship. The performance resonated with audiences and critics alike, earning him a Golden Globe and connecting him with a new generation of viewers. Despite his continued public presence, Michael Douglas has become more reflective. He often speaks about the value of family, the lessons he learned through illness, and the importance of purpose beyond the spotlight. His wife, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and their children remain his greatest source of joy. "You go through something like that," he once said, "and you realize what really matters. The accolades are wonderful, but it's the people who stand by you when the cameras are off that define your life." Michael has also remained active in philanthropy, supporting causes related to nuclear disarmament, education, and health. His voice, once nearly silenced, now speaks with even greater authority, not just about film, but about humanity. At 79, Michael Douglas stands as a symbol of resilience. He has not only survived the highs and lows of Hollywood, but also his own private storms. Through it all, he has continued to work, to give, and to inspire. His legacy is not only etched in celluloid, but in the lives he has touched and the truths he has dared to share. So where is Michael Douglas now? He is living, thriving, and showing us that reinvention is not just possible, it is essential. His story reminds us that success is not about the absence of struggle, but the courage to face it head-on and the grace to keep going. In an era that often prizes image over authenticity, Michael Douglas remains a rare breed, a star whose light shines brightest, not just on screen, but in life.
Made the first album, the No Secrets album in London, for 10 years so been. And
Richard Perry was an extraordinary American record producer, recognized for forging a distinct pop sound throughout the 1970s and 1980s. Born in Brooklyn, he displayed an early passion for music, eventually shaping the recordings of globally renowned talents such as Carly Simon, Barbra Streisand, and Ringo Starr. With remarkable dedication, he refined classic tracks like You're So Vain and Stony End, ensuring they reached a level of brilliance that resonated with audiences everywhere. His career was defined by innovation and exacting standards, qualities that earned him numerous accolades, including Grammy nominations and the esteemed Trustees Award. Throughout his years in the studio, he inspired artists and fellow producers to explore creative boundaries and push for excellence. Perry also founded Planet Records, signing the Pointer Sisters and demonstrating his flair for recognizing potential hits. Despite the pressures of constant high-level production, he continued to embrace new opportunities and forge strong partnerships. Over time, he encountered challenges with his health, yet his unwavering resolve propelled him to remain active in an industry he deeply loved. According to accounts from his close circle, Perry concluded his life journey on December 24, 2024, at the age of 82, following complications linked to cardiac arrest. This event profoundly affected fans and collaborators who admired his signature craftsmanship. Even so, the spirit of his work persists, woven into every song that once echoed through the studios he guided. Today, music enthusiasts reflect on his enduring legacy, a tapestry of powerful rhythms, heartfelt lyrics, and inventive production techniques that continue to influence both emerging and established voices in modern music.
I can't believe my eyes. You're joking me. You gotta be. This can't be the right guy.
Throughout his career, Ken maintained a focus on good vocal health, diligently preserving his rich tones for both live shows and recording sessions. His colleagues frequently mentioned his unwavering dedication, highlighting how his warm-hearted nature captivated fellow cast members and audiences alike. Over decades of entertaining, he gained profound respect and admiration for his artistry and perseverance, ensuring each performance carried the same level of care and excellence. Ken Page was a remarkable American performer whose journey through theater and film left a lasting impression on countless fans. Born in St. Louis, he stepped onto Broadway with unwavering determination, capturing hearts in The Wiz, and later cementing his place among the original cast of Cats. His portrayal of Old Deuteronomy revealed not only a generous spirit, but also a resonant vocal strength that enthralled audiences each and every night. Many still recall his show-stopping numbers in Guys and Dolls, which continue to be celebrated today. Beyond the stage, he became an enduring presence on screen, bringing his vibrant personality and distinctive baritone to animated classics. Perhaps his most iconic role was voicing Oogie Boogie in The Nightmare Before Christmas, an instantly memorable character who charmed multiple generations. That signature style, both whimsical and commanding, set him apart as a performer capable of spanning various genres and media. According to announcements by his representation, Ken concluded his life's journey on September 30th, 2024, in St. Louis. No specific details about this final chapter were revealed. Despite such limited information, he remains a cherished figure whose legacy endures in every project he touched. Admirers still celebrate his versatile talent, remembering how his voice could bring laughter and wonder, while exemplifying a steadfast commitment to the craft he loved. Paul Di'Anno was a spirited British vocalist celebrated for shaping the early sound of a legendary heavy metal group during the late 1970s and early 1980s. Born in London, he brought powerful energy to the stage, earning a dedicated following from both longtime rock enthusiasts and newer generations who admired his vibrant performances. Throughout his early career, his commanding voice and dynamic style helped lay the groundwork for a band that would later achieve global acclaim. Beyond that influential chapter, he went on to form his own projects, displaying remarkable adaptability and a steadfast commitment to music. Audiences recognized his passion whenever he performed, and he continued to appear at concerts well into the final phase of his life. Despite facing serious challenges with mobility, he tirelessly found ways to remain active on stage, exemplifying the resilience many fans came to cherish. Every time he engaged with a microphone, people sensed his determination to uplift and entertain. Unfortunately, Paul's health concerns became increasingly demanding over the years. Multiple injuries impacted his ability to stand, yet his willpower drove him to complete more than 100 shows after 2023. By October 21st, 2024, his journey concluded in Salisbury, influenced by long-standing complications that affected his overall condition. Friends and colleagues recalled his unwavering courage, noting how he continued to share music with the world even under difficult circumstances. His body of work remains a testament to both his vocal strength and the warmth he extended to countless supporters. From the raw intensity of his early recordings to his later performances marked by perseverance, Paul Di'Anno's legacy stands as a powerful reminder that true passion can leave a profound mark on fans across many generations.
Or just gloss over it and just have a good time and kind of, pretend like it didn't happen. My intention was to create something.
Jeff Baena was a gifted American filmmaker whose quiet brilliance and heartfelt storytelling left a lasting mark on the world of independent cinema. Born in 1977, he carved out a unique space for himself as both a writer and director, known for his thoughtful, offbeat, and deeply human films. His career began with co-writing I Heart Huckabees, 2004, alongside David O. Russell, setting the tone for a body of work that blended humor, melancholy, and introspection. Over the years, Jeff created a collection of memorable films, including Life After Beth, Joshi, The Little Hours, Horse Girl, and Spin Me Round. He worked closely with a circle of trusted collaborators, including his wife and creative partner, actress Aubrey Plaza. Their connection, on and off screen, brought a special warmth and authenticity to many of his projects. His films stood out for their emotional honesty and ability to find the extraordinary in life's quieter, often overlooked moments. In the months leading up to his passing, Jeff was navigating personal and emotional challenges. He and Plaza had quietly separated in late 2024, and reports indicate he had been focusing on his well-being while continuing to work. On January 3, 2025, Jeff Baena passed away at his home in Los Angeles. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner confirmed the cause as related to mental health complications. Jeff's passing was met with an outpouring of love from the film community. Tributes from colleagues and longtime friends celebrated his generosity, humor, and artistic integrity. Though his journey was cut short, Jeff Baena's legacy remains firmly intact. A filmmaker who told tender, unexpected stories with grace, and whose voice will be missed but never forgotten. Sugar Pie DeSanto was a fiery and unforgettable voice in American rhythm and blues, a true original whose spirit soared far beyond her petite frame. Born Umpelia Marcema Ballanton on October 16, 1935 in Brooklyn, she was the daughter of a Filipino merchant seaman and a classically trained African-American pianist. Her mother's music shaped her early years, but it was the raw, expressive sound of the blues that ultimately called to her heart. After moving to San Francisco as a child, Sugar Pie's talent quickly emerged through local talent contests. She caught the attention of R&B legend Johnny Otis, who gave her the name Sugar Pie and a spot in his revue. What followed was a dynamic career marked by unforgettable performances and trailblazing songs. From her charting hits like I Wanna Know and Slippin' Mules to her electrifying duet, In the Basement, with close friend Etta James, she carved out a space all her own. With her raspy voice, fearless lyrics, and astonishing stage acrobatics, including backflips and splits, she was often called the female James Brown. Though she never achieved the mainstream fame of her peers, Sugar Pie's impact ran deep. She held her ground in a male-dominated industry, wrote for other top artists, and remained fiercely independent throughout her life. In her later years, she continued to perform and record, even working as a paralegal to support herself between gigs. On December 20th, 2024, Sugar Pie DeSanto passed away at the age of 89 at her brother's home in Oakland, California. According to her family, the cause was complications from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and congestive heart failure. Her legacy lives on in the power of her music, her resilience, and the joy she brought to every stage she touched.
Hi, Gary, this is Patty. I know you want to go out with me tonight, so if you still do, see how fast you can get back here, okay?
Patty Maloney was a bright spark in American television and stage, small in stature but boundless in talent, heart, and humor. Standing at just under 4 feet tall, Patty built a remarkable career across decades, embracing roles that brought joy to audiences of all ages. Born in 1935, she began her career as a performer with the legendary Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus before moving into television, where she would become a familiar face to generations of viewers. From her lovable character Honk on Far Out Space Nuts to her unforgettable turn as Chewbacca's son Lumpy in the Star Wars Holiday Special, Patty made the extraordinary feel playful and real. She shared the screen with fellow icon Billy Barty on Little House on the Prairie and Under the Rainbow, and made memorable appearances on shows like Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, The Love Boat, The Smurfs, and Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. She also voiced animated characters, brought laughter to Las Vegas stages, and starred in her own one-woman show, a true triple threat. In her later years, Patty faced several health challenges, including a series of strokes, and spent her final days in hospice care in Winter Park, Florida. She passed away peacefully on March 31st, 2025, at the age of 89. Patty Maloney's legacy is one of perseverance, creativity, and warmth. In an industry that often overlooked difference, she shined with grace and boldness, reminding us all that joy comes in many forms. Whether she was in a costume, behind a voice, or dancing across a stage, Patty left audiences smiling, and for that, she will always be remembered with love. Pamela Bach was a familiar face to millions of television viewers in the 1980s and 90s, a bright presence on screen and a devoted mother off it. Born in 1963, she rose to prominence with her roles in hit shows like Baywatch, Knight Rider, and Sirens, often appearing alongside her former husband, actor David Hasselhoff. Together, they became one of Hollywood's most recognizable couples of the era, sharing not only the spotlight, but also two daughters, Taylor and Haley, who carry forward her spirit today. Pamela brought energy and elegance to every role she played, whether on primetime television or in guest appearances across beloved American series. Her charm, poise, and sense of humor made her stand out, not just as an actress, but as a woman of strength navigating the demands of fame, family, and personal battles. In her later years, Pamela had been working quietly on a return to television, developing a heartfelt reality series that celebrated aging with grace and friendship. Though the project never came to fruition, it reflected her desire to inspire and uplift others. On March 5, 2025, Pamela passed away at her home in Los Angeles at the age of 62. According to the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner, the cause was a self-inflicted injury. Her family and loved ones have since remembered her as a vibrant, giving soul with a generous heart and unwavering love for her children. Pamela Bach's legacy lives on not only through her screen work, but in the enduring love of her daughters and the memories she gifted to generations of television viewers. She remains a symbol of resilience, warmth, and timeless beauty. Carol D'Andrea was a radiant presence on stage and a gentle force behind the scenes, whose life was devoted to the art of performance and the joy of teaching. Born in 1937, Carol rose to prominence as Velma in the original Broadway production of West Side Story, and later reprised the role in the beloved 1961 film. Her movements were sharp, her presence magnetic. She embodied the spirit of Broadway's golden age. But Carol's artistry extended far beyond the spotlight. A gifted dancer and actress, she spent much of her later life as a devoted coach and mentor in Los Angeles, guiding generations of young performers with grace, discipline, and warmth. As one of her former students recalled, "She never raised her voice, but when she spoke, you listened. She made you feel like you belonged in the room." Carol passed away peacefully on March 11th, 2025, at the age of 87, due to heart failure at her home in Santa Monica. Her family shared that she had remained surrounded by love and music until the end, reflecting the way she had lived, quietly, beautifully, and with enduring purpose. Her legacy lives on not only in the unforgettable moments she brought to the screen and stage, but in the lives of the students she inspired. She believed that art was not about perfection. It was about connection. In one of her last interviews, Carol said, "You don't have to be the loudest in the room, just be the one who leaves something behind." And she did, through every note, every step, and every soul she touched.
Wow, you're so dominant.
Wow.
Wow, I swear to God, screw.
Breaking news. Owen Wilson's journey, more than just wow. What don't we see? Owen Wilson has long been one of Hollywood's most beloved actors. With his laid-back charm, quirky humor, and unmistakable voice, he has become a fixture in both romantic comedies and offbeat indie hits. But beyond the screen, Owen's journey has been marked by resilience, introspection, and a quiet strength that often goes unspoken. Today, we take a deeper look into the man behind the smile, tracing his rise, challenges, and the grace with which he continues to live and inspire. Born on November 18, 1968, in Dallas, Texas, Owen Wilson grew up in a family that encouraged creativity. Alongside his brothers, Luke and Andrew, he forged an early path into the arts. It was during his college years at the University of Texas at Austin that Owen met filmmaker Wes Anderson, a partnership that would launch both their careers. Together, they co-wrote Bottle Rocket, which began as a short film and later became their first feature, catching the attention of major studios. From there, Owen's star only rose. He became known for his unique blend of comedic timing and emotional depth in films like Shanghai Noon, Wedding Crashers, Zoolander, and the critically acclaimed Midnight in Paris. His collaborations with Wes Anderson, including The Royal Tenenbaums and The French Dispatch, further solidified his place as one of the most versatile and quietly brilliant actors of his generation. He also became the voice of Lightning McQueen in Pixar's beloved Cars franchise, endearing him to younger audiences worldwide. Yet behind his bright public persona was a man navigating deeply personal struggles. In 2007, Owen faced one of the most challenging moments of his life when he was hospitalized following a mental health crisis. The news sent shockwaves through Hollywood and stunned fans, many of whom had come to associate him with joy and levity. It was a stark reminder that behind even the most radiant smiles, there can be battles that remain unseen. In the wake of that moment, Owen took time away from the public eye. He leaned on those closest to him, particularly his brother Andrew, who moved in to support him through the healing process. Their bond became a lifeline during that difficult period, offering stability and comfort. Owen later reflected on this time, describing life as something that can feel overwhelming, like a stern teacher or even a rival, but one that can be met with patience and perspective. What followed was not a grand comeback, but a quiet return, the kind that speaks of inner strength and growth. Owen slowly eased back into the spotlight, taking on roles that allowed him to express more layers of himself. In The Internship, Wonder, and later, his role as Mobius in the Marvel series Loki, he proved that his talent had not waned. If anything, it had deepened. Owen's approach to life and work has since reflected a greater sense of grounding. In interviews, he speaks with more openness about the value of family, particularly his 3 children. Fatherhood, he says, has reshaped how he views the world. It is no longer just about delivering lines or hitting box office numbers. It is about presence, authenticity, and being a steady figure in the lives of those who matter most. Despite his past challenges, Owen Wilson has avoided public controversies and maintained a reputation for being humble, kind, and deeply thoughtful. He chooses his projects carefully and often stays out of the typical Hollywood frenzy. He is, in many ways, a quiet force in the industry, someone who lets his work and his humanity speak for themselves. While his personal health journey is not something he discusses at length, the strength with which he has faced adversity is undeniable. He has become a silent advocate for mental health awareness simply by continuing, by showing up, and by doing so with grace. His story reminds us that healing is not always loud. Sometimes, it looks like taking small steps, leaning on loved ones, and choosing to keep going even when the world expects you to shine without pause. Owen Wilson's life and career offer something rare, an example of how vulnerability and artistry can coexist. He does not claim perfection, nor does he seek to. Instead, he moves forward with humility, humor, and a heart that has known both joy and sorrow. So, where is Owen now? He is thriving in his own quiet way, still making films, still raising his children, and still reminding us that some of the strongest people are those who have faced darkness and still found a way to smile. What are your favorite Owen Wilson performances? Has his story touched you in some way? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if this tribute to his journey inspired you, please like and subscribe for more stories that celebrate the humanity behind Hollywood's brightest stars. Thank you for joining us in honoring Owen Wilson's remarkable life, one of humor, healing, and heartfelt resilience.